Hey traders, this is Cousin Vinny coming to you on the 26th of February, Sunday night, where the futures are open. It's 6:25 p.m. This is a look at the week ahead and my thoughts accordingly. Looking at the ES, we can see this horizontal up here at the highs we reached last week at 1369.50. And currently we're trading at 1363.75. So this is a 5-minute chart, and my thoughts are that I've started taking profits. Okay, since this October low, we've had quite a run, and I don't want to give any of that back. So in my 401k, I've taken 100% out of our GAFX. This is the weekly chart. You can see we're approaching the highs that we put in on 2011. So you're ready to see what we're going to do up here, whether we break higher. If we do, I can see the 127 extension on this particular fund. And we'll talk about the SPX as well. Very similar condition. Okay, these are the highs right here on the cash. We're right at that point. I'm really expecting this to form a handle, in which case we could see the 20 period moving up and the 10 period moving average coming up. We meet that, we find that as support, and we take off to move higher if things work out the way I think they're going to work out. Looking at the S&P, we can see that we're at the highs, close to it anyway. S&P cash, RSI is up in the overbought territory. We have been holding this shorter term period average. I'm showing the 8 here, but the 10 looks basically the same. The 20 between the Bollinger Bands, and of course the 50 cruising up. So it wouldn't be unusual to see this form a handle here and come back down to the 20 period at least at a minimum, and then move higher. Okay, but for now I'm starting to scale out, mainly because I'm seeing the ADX, the stochastics, the MACD, all giving signs that we are hitting a plateau. When you hit 40, that's typically an area where the trend could be potentially extended and mature. And with a lot of stocks, I think it was like 80% above the 50-day moving average, it suggests that the market is overbought. So the number of indicators that are diverging as the S&P makes new highs is growing, suggesting the quality of the rally is decreasing. So I would look at the Dow Jones, and I'd also watch for a smaller number of 52-week highs. Okay. In addition to that, let's take a look at the VIX. And looking at the daily chart, we can see that the VIX is at 1731, are relatively high compared to the cash VIX, which a lot of people who follow the VIX interpret as bearish. So with everything said, I'm taking it more cautiously, and although I see good setups out there, I do know if the market does turn and head south that many of those stocks will as well. So watch the ones that hold up. If the market does in fact turn down and move lower, I'm not looking for a huge move down. I'm just looking for anywhere from the 20 period moving average to for maybe 5% consolidation lower. Okay. Looking at the comp, I posted this chart on StockTwits on Friday, I guess about mid-evening, and what I'm looking at is the RSI moving higher. This wedge, the upper trend line here, that appears going back to 1991, 1990. Okay, and connecting these lows, and how we're getting back up to that area. We could also view this lower trend line and this horizontal as an ascending triangle pattern. So depends on how this works out, but I'm definitely watching this area here at this upper trend line. Okay, so I'm watching the 3200 area on the comp. We did have a nice bounce. This is the monthly, by the way. We did have a nice bounce in December off the 20 period and moved higher through January and February. Okay. Also notice the vacuum over here that we're trading into. All right. Typically we test into the vacuum the first time around, and then we move back off of it and then move higher again. Looking at the copper end of day on the daily, we can see that we bounced off of the 50 period, cruised up to the 20, tested it, and now we're hanging out right at that area. So with Bollinger Band squeezing and indicators pointing that we could move higher, maybe to that upper Bollinger Band, I will be watching this one, okay, as well as DBV, the carry trade, which we can see we're sandwiched between the shorter term period moving average and the upper Bollinger Band. And we had some considerable volume on Friday. I believe gas is short the yen, so with this embedding, we'll see how this plays out. Okay, but higher is good for stocks and equities, okay, and obviously lower is bad. Okay, looking at the lower, the US dollar, we can see the 200 period right here below price at 78. Bollinger Bands have compressed and are expanding. All right, this is end of day cash settlement. So with relative strength moving lower, the MACD and the stochastics turning, it looks like this could mean lower for the dollar. We have a support level down here at 76.51, and also right where we're trading close to 77.92 and the 200 period. Now, a couple of trades I still have on is the Russell 2000 IWM, and we could see that we could make a case for this being a flag here, and you'll see a cup if you zoom out of this, but a handle, and then perhaps moving higher if the dollar and the Iran news continues not to be an issue. Okay, so that's IWM. RUT looks basically the same. All right. Okay, and finishing up with the ES, I'm looking at this trend line that we've had supporting this move all the way up. Okay, using the closes. All right, we've tested this, and we came down and tested several times, and we haven't broken down through it. The 20 is right below us. Okay, RSI is a little bit weaker. Okay, but this move higher, so there is some divergence there. Okay, but if we look at some targets, taking this pivot here, okay, up to this high, was 1369.50, I believe. It's not exact, but notice we tested it again. We closed towards the lower part of this range on Friday. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's see if we can throw another fib on here from this recent low right here up to that high. I do note that I moved back down to the 1340, 50% at 1332, and we have the 20 right here. So that's what I'm watching for. If we do break through this high, it's a very good likelihood, about a 70% chance that we could test the 1389, 1390 area. Okay, remember the 1373.50, I believe, was the May highs. Okay, so keep that in mind. Watch your trend line, watch your 20, watch your Fibonacci's, okay, and watch for any sign that we might flag here. It looks like we continue to flag, but with relative strength not making a new high and the ES making a new high, I'm watching for that divergence. Okay. Anyway, this is Cousin Vinny coming to you on the 26th of Sunday with my thoughts and a look at the week ahead. Remember to use your stops, and good luck trading this week. I'll be trying to take off more of my longs, and I am currently short the QQQ, which I noticed on Saturday. Scott Ruddler also noted that on Twitter. Okay, take care and talk to you soon.